Xiao Mo, once considered the dumbest student, became #1 at school using shady tricks. He dates the smartest and richest girl at school, becoming everyone's enemy, including teachers. The story started at Lin High, a prestigious school in the city. Everyone was dismissed early today because tomorrow is the first model exam for senior high school. This is Xiao Shi, wishing Xiao Mo good luck with the exam tomorrow. This beautiful angel is Xiao Mo's girlfriend. Beside her mesmerizing beauty, she's the top student in the school year, the shareholder of Tianhong Group, and the top girl in the school. No wonder she has a band picking her up after school. Xiao Mo, on the other hand, comes from an average family and has average grades. In short, he's considered a lucky loser. While pushing his two-wheel Bugatti and wearing fake Nikes, Xiao Mo says goodbye to his girlfriend and can't wait to see her tomorrow. Just before he left the school, he overheard two bitches talking shit about his relationship. One girl asked her friend, "Why would Xiaoxi fall for such a poor schoolboy?" Her friend replied, "It's not a good match. Our boy simply put on his earphones and get the fuck out of the school premises." While riding his Bugatti back home, he was also confused and began questioning why Xiaoxi likes him. As he got home and threw himself on his single bed, he began thinking that since Xiaoxi is the first in the academy school year, he stands no chance to the same university as her because he has low grades. These thoughts made him question if he was really good enough for his queen, and wishes he could be like the hero in the novel. Suddenly, something magical happens, and some coding appears, and a voice began saying, "I sense the host's strong request." A little girl's silhouette emerges from the computer codes, making Xiao Mo very curious of what was going on. In an instant, a blinding light flashes before his eyes, prompting him to quickly protect his eyes while sitting on his bed. He didn't know what was happening. He hides his face with his hand while opening one eye, trying to see what was going on. He saw a cute little girl saying congratulations to host Xiao Mo. She added that the activation is successful. Seeing this weird being, Xiao Mo was left speechless. He jumped off the bed and hid behind the bed desk. He then questioned the little spirit who the hell she was. He tells her not to move any closer, otherwise he uses his ruler to beat her. The little spirit was annoyed and told Xiao Mo not to address the system as a thing. She revealed to him that this system is the latest high-tech product developed by Planet X. I wonder if Elon Musk has something to do with this. She added that if Xiao Mo completes tasks issued by this system, he will be rewarded accordingly. To make things clear, while smiling, she tells him that right now he's still a host candidate, not her master yet. Only when he passes the test can he truly own the system. She immediately points her finger at Xiao Mo and tells him that the system has decided on his first task. He must accomplish his goal of getting in the top 10 of his class. Hearing this, Xiao Mo denied, stating that he can only be at the top 10 bottom of the class. The little spirit tries to motivate Xiao Mo, stating that this is the goal he's been wanting to achieve no matter what. If he doesn't complete the task, the system will uninstall itself. These words shocked Xiao Mo, who questioned if she's really going to uninstall herself from him. The system replied that she's not the devil. She won't give him impossible tasks. She then points her finger covered in fire energy towards Xiao Mo and releases the fire energy that envelopes Xiao Mo's entire body. She calls it a newbie pack with temporary ability for 1 month. She then smiles and winked at Xiao Mo and tells him that how far he can go with that ability depends on how hard he's willing to work. After saying those words, the system bid farewell to Xiao Mo, then disappeared. While he was still in shock of what had just happened, a leaning system appears in front of him, showing him his stats such as name, age, and his ability. Moreover, his rank is ignorance. As he navigated through the learning system, he could not believe his eyes. He discovered that the skill he obtained from the system is called unforgettable. Xiao Mo didn't waste any time. He brought out his school books and placed them on the desk. He decided to test his new ability by reading some school notes. After reading, he closes his eyes, and the information stays right in his brain. He opens his eyes and stands up in excitement. He was astonished to find out that he can't forget everything he learns. He praises how powerful this system of learning is. At this moment, he remembers the system told him if he doesn't complete the task, it will automatically uninstall. This means he will have to continue with his shameful old life where he's branded as a loser. No. This is my chance to change my fate. I must seize it, he declares. Xiao Mo begins strategizing, Currently, it's around 2 p.m. The exam starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. To be in shape, he needs at least 3 hours of sleep. That leaves him with 14 hours of effective studies before the exam starts tomorrow. During this time, he wants to memorize thousands of original questions from 2 books, language and math. If he can do that, he believes he will be able to improve his score, not by 100, but to a total score of 600 points. The top scorer, Han Jiang, reached 650 points. If Xiao Mo can get 600 points, he'll be in the top 10 in his class. Without wasting any second, Xiao Mo begins his studies while eating dinner. He is so deep in his studying that his mom tells him to put the book aside and finish eating first, but our boy has been looking forward to this version of himself. He continues his studies in his room, but around 1 a.m., his mom enters his room and tells him to sleep now since he has an exam tomorrow. Xiao Mo didn't give up. Around 3 at night, he was still studying under his blanket. The system appears and states that in front of him, there are 1,072 candidates who failed in the end. People who do not work hard, even if you give them the strongest ability, are useless. With her arms folded, she added that only those who are willing to work hard are qualified to have her most powerful school system. The next day at school, students were getting ready to write the exam. Meanwhile, she seems worried about Xiao Mo, who had a sleepy face, because he ended up studying the whole night without closing his eyes. Xiao Mo was happy about his efforts, because he read every single question in the books, and they are all stuck in his mind. She asked him if he was confident about the exam. He confidently replied that he's going to be in the top 10 of his class this time. She was shocked to see this new confident version of her boyfriend. The rest of the class began laughing at Xiao Mo's words. He then got nervous and asked his girl if he sounded a bit braggy. She smiles with a blushing face and tells Xiao Mo that she believes in him. She says goodbye to Xiao Mo because she needed to go to her class and get ready for the exam. She then tells Xiao Mo that they should have lunch together. While Xiao Mo was waving at Shi, 2 haters began gossiping behind his back, and the whole class was laughing at him. Xiao Mo wanted to wear his earphones to avoid hearing gossip, but he thought for a second and changed his mind. He tells himself that he's going to prove to everyone that he's a perfect match for Shi. A moment later, everyone was well seated on their desks, ready to start the exam. Xiao Mo got his exam paper and immediately started going through the questions. He immediately recognized that the questions were the original questions he memorized last night. They only changed one of the numbers. The more he checks the questions, the more he realizes there's only minor changes on the exam paper. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. At this moment, his confidence increased. He does not want to get 600 points anymore. Instead, he wants to get more than 650 points. As Xiao Mo began answering questions, his teacher was observing him and surprised to see him answer that particular question so fast. As she got closer to his desk, she was surprised to see what Xiao Mo had written. 4 days later, the fat guy sitting next to Xiao Mo tried to talk down to him, asking him if he's the one who bragged too much and everyone is waiting to see his joke. Xiao Mo replied that people are just jealous of him and Shi together. That's why they're targeting him. At that moment, the hot redhead teacher enters the class, carrying the exam results. She placed the results on the table and began addressing the class, saying that the exam was just a test to show how basic students are. It was basically the same questions with a few changes. The teacher changes her tone of voice and begins shouting that she didn't expect the students to do so badly. If they don't have a sense of crisis, not many students will get into college. As the class grew quiet, she began announcing the exam results. Starting with the first bottom of the class with 357 points, Lu Yu. The list continues until the second of the class and 72nd of the grade, Han Jiang. The boy was happy at first, but then got shocked to see that he was second of the class. Everyone in the class began asking themselves how come Han was second. They wondered who was first. Before long, they realized that there was only one person who had not yet received the result. Finally, the teacher announced the first of the class and second of the grade with 702 points, Xiao Mo. Xiao Mo confidently stood up to go and receive his result, leaving every student in shock. Inside the Lin High School office, one female teacher asked her friend if he heard about Xiao Mo, the kid in class 3 who got second place in the school year. The other teacher replied that Xiao Mo has always been at the bottom of the class. How come he raised to the top so quickly? The other bald teacher overheard the conversation and began shouting that Xiao Mo must have cheated. He added that he has never seen such an exaggerated student. It's just too much. The other teacher replied that even if they leave a student who's at the bottom to look through the exam materials in the exam room, it's still going to be impossible for that student to get 700 points right away. The female teacher also agreed that if you don't have an image in your head, it's impossible to find a place to look in the book. With those words, all the three teachers widely opened their eyes and mouths in shock, while wondering if Xiao Mo is really working hard. Suddenly, one guy who seemed like the dean told all the teachers to stop talking. He instructed each teacher to write a new set of papers. Tomorrow, Xiao Mo will have a separate makeup exam. The next day at Linhai Secondary School, each student was going on about their daily life. Xiao Mo was studying and realized that his unforgettable ability started fading away. But the good thing is, he can still remember everything he has read. The boy started while praising how much his memory has improved. While he was stretching, the teacher enters the class and tells Xiao Mo to follow her to the office. As he stood up and followed the teacher, the rest of his classmates were happy, anticipating the big news of him getting caught cheating in the exam. Accompanied by a hot redhead, Xiao Mo enters the teacher's office and greets all the teachers. The dean wasted no time and got straight to the point. He informed Xiao Mo that some teachers had questioned his performance on the exam. However, others still believed in him, so he had arranged for Xiao Mo to retake the test. Concerned, Xiao Mo immediately asked if he was the only one required to retake it. The bald teacher, Mr. Luo, responded with a forced smile, assuring him that it wasn't about mistrust. Instead, he claimed the retake was an opportunity for Xiao Mo to prove himself. With that, he led Xiao Mo to his desk. However, Xiao Mo saw through the teacher's insincerity. He knew this was merely an attempt to expose him, but he quickly regained his composure. After all, he had all the knowledge of the test ingrained in his mind. He picked up the question paper and scanned through it. Within seconds, he placed the papers back on the table, ready to answer with full confidence. Meanwhile, the male teachers, who had no faith in him, stood behind him, fully expecting him to fail. Mr. Luo smirked, convinced that Xiao Mo was at a loss. They had designed new questions, ensuring he wouldn't be able to copy from any source. Xiao Mo, however, grew nervous. He hadn't cheated in the previous test, but if he failed this one, he would be wrongfully accused. Just as desperation set in, the small spirit that had started it all suddenly appeared before him. With a playful tone, it asked, "Master, did you miss me?" The system then congratulated Xiao Mo on completing his first task. Stunned, Xiao Mo simply stared at the spirit in disbelief. The bald teacher, noticing Xiao Mo's distant gaze, quickly concluded that the boy was hallucinating out of fear. Suddenly, Xiao Mo slammed his hands onto the desk, snapping out of his daze. He was finally ready to cook. Seeing his reaction, Mr. Luo warned him not to try any tricks, believing he was nothing more than a cheater. But Xiao Mo felt unstoppable, much like Light Yagami. He grabbed his pen and began answering the questions. The bald teacher, still determined to see Xiao Mo fail, watched with anticipation. He remained hopeful that this test would expose Xiao Mo as an incompetent student. However, 30 minutes later, Xiao Mo completed the chemistry section, leaving the teacher stunned. Another 30 minutes passed, and he finished the math section as well. The female teacher, curious about his work, took a look at his answers. To her astonishment, Xiao Mo had truly delivered exceptional responses. The other teachers were left speechless, while the bald teacher found himself at a complete loss for words. The dean, still in disbelief, wondered how Xiao Mo had managed to ace the test so effortlessly. Carefully, the female teacher reviewed his answers for both math and chemistry. To her amazement, there wasn't a single mistake. Xiao Mo had flawlessly completed the test, leaving everyone in utter shock. As the teachers continued to process this unexpected turn of events, Xiao Mo remained focused, answering even more questions. The bald teacher, now seething with frustration, wished he had known of Xiao Mo's true abilities beforehand. If he had, he would have made the test even more difficult, just to humble him.